Hello everyone and welcome to my video on protein. I wanted to make a YouTube video about this because it's such an important topic and I wanted to draw it out on the board back here so that you guys could really get a visual and a good understanding of the importance of protein and why I emphasize it so much in the meal plans of my clients. So whenever I start working with a client, one of the first things I let them know is that I want them to, number one, start tracking their food so they know what they're eating. And then number two, focus mainly on protein because probably about 90% of people are extremely low in protein throughout the day. And it's going to be really hard to put on lean muscle mass if you're not eating enough protein. So I wanted to go through this drawing back here with you and explain what protein does in the body and why it's so important. So if we start over here on this side, I drew two different scenarios. So the top one is going to be maybe a working or stay-at-home mom who is pretty conscious about what she eats, but is also pretty busy. So here she is in the morning. She gets up, around 6 a.m., takes a little bit of time, and has to take the kids to school, so she doesn't get to get breakfast right away. So she maybe around 9 a.m. eats 2 hard-boiled eggs. So eggs are a good source of protein, so that will spike her into what's called an anabolic mode, which is fat-burning mode. So up until she had those 2 hard-boiled eggs, she was actually in catabolic or muscle-burning mode. So 9 a.m. she has those 2 hard-boiled eggs, and then after about 3 hours, it starts to drop back down into catabolic mode. And then, so right around noon, she decides she's going to grab a quick lunch. She had some time to meal prep a little bit over the weekend, so she grabs some chicken and rice, and she spikes herself right back up into fat burn mode, right around 12 p.m. So again, starts to digest. She starts to get busy in the afternoon because she's got to pick the kids up from school. A lot going on, has to drop them off at practice. So she grabs some quick fruit, which does not have any protein in it, and so she stays in catabolic mode. So all afternoon, she's just staying in that catabolic or muscle-burning mode. Until finally, she gets home, she picks up the kids from practice, it's around 6 p.m. They sit down for family dinner, and she has a good, healthy dinner with some ground turkey and some potatoes, something nice, whole food, and good for you. So she's back in fat-burning mode here at 6 p.m. Then it drops down again. She puts the kids to bed, and before she herself decides to go to bed, she grabs a protein shake. And she grabs a slow digesting one because she knows that that is important in order to keep your body in fat-burning mode while you sleep, because sleeping is the longest fasting time that you will see. So if we can have a little bit of slow-acting protein before we go to sleep, we're more apt to burn fat while we sleep. So that was one example, and she was pretty good. We did fall a little bit slow here in the afternoon, but other than that, she did try and get her protein sources in every 3 hours or so. Now, here's another example. This maybe is a working mom who is not home and still has to take the kids to school, still has to do all that. So gets up around 6 a.m., takes the kids to school, goes to work herself, and gets busy right away, has a meeting right away, doesn't have time to eat breakfast. 9 a.m. comes and goes, 10, 11, 12. Finally, we get to 12 o'clock, and her coworker asks her if she'd like to go to lunch. So she says yes. They go to Panera. She grabs a chicken salad, which has the protein from the chicken, spikes her back into anabolic mode. She's able to burn fat again. She's good. So her first meal and her first moment of being in fat burn mode wasn't till noon. So that can be dangerous when you're trying to see results. So again, she gets back from lunch with her friend. She goes right back to work, has meetings all afternoon. Then she's got to pick the kids up from school. 3 p.m. comes and goes, doesn't get anything to eat. And then finally we get home at night and she has a hamburger, which is a good source of protein. So spikes her back in to fat burn mode at dinner time. So we digest. After dinner, we're going back down She puts the kids to bed, gets stuff ready for work tomorrow. It's around 9 p.m. She still hasn't eaten anything. And that's it. That's all she eats for the day. So what I want you to see between these two scenarios is that the first one, she had it pretty good. You're supposed to get about 25 to 35 grams of protein every 3 to 4 hours. And the reason is because it takes your body about that long to digest the protein. And so after 3 hours, you're switched from fat burn back to muscle burn. So you're not going to see great results if you're not getting in that protein periodically throughout the day. So the second example was a bad example because if that person's trying to lose weight, they're already at a disadvantage. One, because they're not getting in enough protein, and two, because she's not eating enough. She only ate twice in the whole day. And if you don't eat enough food, your body will actually go into starvation mode and hold on to fat because it thinks you are literally starving. So I wanted to point this out for you guys because this is such an important and key factor in seeing your results. Now, if you're the type of person that's like, oh, I don't have time to eat 4 to 5 meals a day, I'm always on the go. That's understandable. Most people don't. So my suggestion to you is the second best option is to have a level 1 protein shake. And the reason I say level 1 is because it is a slow digesting protein. So your body will take time to digest it and burn fat. And number 2, it was processed under a low temperature, so it's not going to give you that gassy bloat feeling that most proteins give you. And the reason you get that bloaty feeling is because they were processed too quickly and they're not actually even protein anymore. So when it comes to protein, quality definitely matters. And I always say you wouldn't want to fuel your Lamborghini with unleaded gas, so don't try to do that to your body either. Make sure you're putting in the best quality ingredients. You always want to start with whole foods first, trying to get your protein sources and your nutrients from whole foods, but that's rarely enough to support what your body needs. So as a backup, level 1 protein shake is a great backup. There's so many good flavors. It tastes amazing. It's sweetened with stevia, so it is actually pretty sweet. You don't really need to even add anything to it, just 6 to 8 ounces of water. So I just want you to really understand this graphic and kind of put this in your memory to try and get that protein every 2 to 3 hours. And I promise you it will make a difference. It'll actually start to speed up your metabolism and you're going to start seeing results. So if you ever have any questions, just let me know. But I hope you found this video helpful and I will talk to you guys soon.